Oh, hello. Welcome to Sports Talk Philadelphia. Pardon me, I was just reading our wonderful student-ran newspaper, The Collegian. We're coming at you today. We're talking about Eagles. We're talking about Sixers. Eagles just came off a win. Sixers are looking hot right now. We're going to talk about it after this intro.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Hello, welcome back. On desk this week, we have Josh Abrams, Dave Roberts, and Selena BMAC. I'm already excited about the panelists that we have. So yeah, let's start it off. The Philadelphia Eagles are 7-1 right now. Like, that is such a beautiful record to say. Consistently number one in the NFL for 2 or 3 weeks in a row now. And it looked like we can't be stopped. When you look at that, again, I do want to mention Mack Hollins started us off for the 4th time in a row. Big play by him. Offense gets going. He might be the secret weapon here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point in the season, we're getting production from rookie wide receivers. And it really helps, as I keep on saying, that we have a lot of depth in the wide receiving position. We have Alshon Jeffrey. We have Torrey Smith. We have Mack Hollins, Nelson Aguilar. We have Zach Ertz. We have such a core offense right now, and if we weren't a force to be reckoned with before we got Jay Ajayi, then I don't even know what to think.
So, Jay Ajayi, first off, that's a pretty sweet, not even emergency, but just completely unexpected pickup when you think about it. Sure, it's great to watch up. See, breaking news, Philadelphia Eagles traded for Jay Ajayi for a 4th round 2018 pick. Hey, listen, as an Eagle fan, I love it. Dolphins, I don't know what you're doing. Howie Roseman is a magician, I guess. But yeah, so Selena, Dave, let's get you guys, I want to know your opinions on Jay Ajayi.
I think that the trade for Jay Ajayi, the deal is a little bit sweetened knowing that pick was the pick that they got from the Sam Bradford trade. So in the end, that trade resulted with Derek Barnett and Jay Ajayi. So that just adds to the great deal. But he's young, he's 24. They have a lot of running backs right now, but I think he'll be a great tool that the Eagles can use.
We always talk about a franchise running back. I'm not saying he's going to be the guy, but I'm saying we have a lot of chances to pick someone to be the guy. Is it going to be LeGarrette Blount? Is it going to be Jay Ajayi? Is it going to be Corey Clement? We have so many guys that we can put out there to be the main running back. If someone's having a bad day, just take him out, put another guy in. So, this is a great addition.
So looking just Blount, I guess Ajayi would be our number one. Ajayi, Blount, Smallwood, Clement. Man, what a core of just running backs right here. Let's talk about their actual production, in this previous game, though. It's another big win. I notice a pattern here. Eagles love scoring over 30 points with offense, right? Hey, I'm 100% fine with that. Just scoring touchdowns all the time. Again, Carson Wentz in there multiple times. And then Alshon Jeffrey got a touchdown as well. So, it's nice to see some production out of him. Josh, did you expect, by this point, we're halfway through the season, do you expect Jeffrey to have more receptions, or how do you feel about that?
I think he's the guy that we need to go to down the stretch when we're on a game-winning drive, because he's the most capable player to make a big play. Now, I'm not going to just, completely get rid of Torrey Smith and say, oh, we can't use him in crunch time, because he is another deep threat ability, almost like a Deshaun Jackson or a Teddy Ginn type of wide receiver. So, I think that this game against the 49ers was a very, very realistic opportunity for Jeffrey to get back onto his game, because I know he hadn't been doing too well the past couple of weeks. So, to see that Wentz to Alshon combination again felt really good, and I think it should give us a lot of momentum going into this game that we have coming up against Denver.
Yeah, it was a real confidence booster for him. You want to see him play better each week as we go along. I think this game really just rose him up a little bit more. I feel like this game coming up against a really good defense maybe he can feel a little bit more confident to actually, like, you know, make more plays. And maybe Carson Wentz can actually throw the ball a little bit more to him. So I can't wait to actually see that.
Yeah, another one of our favorite receivers, Zach Ertz. You know, he went from catching almost nothing last year to now just being probably our most productive receiver in the game. And just to see his evolution of like that chemistry with him and Carson Wentz, we get such deep looks with him, and then just beautiful touchdowns. So I mean, Selena, I know you're a fan of Zach Ertz, so like, just tell me about how you feel about that.
Like you said, there's like this undeniable chemistry between Zach Ertz and Carson Wentz, and Zach Ertz has quickly become that go-to guy for Carson Wentz, and Carson knows when he needs like a third down conversion, or he needs to get that first down, or he's in the red zone, he needs that touchdown, he can turn to Zach Ertz because Zach Ertz is going to be there. He's not the fastest guy, but he's big and he can really move well, so he's quickly become one of the best tight end on the Eagles, and arguably not the best, but one of the best in the league.
I mean, his competition's not that. You know, it's
Besides Travis Kelce,
yeah,
there's not
it's like
really
Travis
another,
Kelce,
yeah.
Greg Olsen. I don't know, is Olsen in right now? I don't
Olsen's
even know.
injured still, but
Yeah, okay. So yeah,
you could honestly you could put the two on a pedestal, Kelce and Ertz, and ironically enough, you know, Travis Kelce's brother still plays for us, right?
yeah, he's still
Yeah.
our center.
So I mean, it's definitely nice knowing that we have one of the best tight ends, because that just complements the talent that we have on our receiving core. When you run a play with Alshon and Torrey and let's say Aguilar or something, they can honestly spread the field out, and that's the reason why I think that Ertz has been doing so well so far.
Yeah, and moving on to the other side of the ball, one of my favorite players on the Eagles right now. You can tell who he is by his green hair when he's not wearing his helmet. That's right. I'm talking about Jalen Mills. I mean, seeing him evolve as a player on every single defensive down, like, you know, we were worried about our secondary. You know, he took some injuries. You know, we never got to play Jones. Darby got out in the first game, but Mills really stepped up. I'm glad to see what he's been doing. So let's talk about him for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's always nice to see a player step up when you're dealing with injuries or suspensions or something that's going to hamper the team's success. Number one corner, that's definitely a talk. But or you know, a topic of discussion, but it's definitely not. It may be a little too ambitious, but either way, I think, you know, earning this type of honor, this type of award, should definitely, again, be another confidence booster towards the players. And the more and more that we achieve week by week, and the better we get week by week, I think it's just gonna put us on a whole nother pedestal, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see him continue to do this type of stuff each week, because I mean, he looks like a Pro Bowl type of corner out there when he actually does make plays like these. And like the pick six that he had, I mean, he worked hard to get that touchdown. So I mean, you can see the drive he has to be just one of the best, even on the team and even in the league.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of anxiety surrounding that secondary going to the season, and they've really been injury-ridden, like you mentioned. Ronald Darby still isn't back yet, but I think Jalen Mills has really stepped up and filled in a role like that people didn't expect, and he's really been playing like superbly this season. So I think once Sidney Jones finally plays, if he does play this season, and once Ronald Darby comes back, maybe after the bye, we'll really see that secondary come together. And right now, I think Jalen Mills is the core of it.
I mean, yeah, with the defense that we've had so far this year compared to the defense that we can have, I'm almost to the point of tears right now. I'm not sure if you guys can tell on camera, but right now I'm actually feeling it. Like, I've never been more excited for Eagles defense and to the late Jim Johnson. It's unfortunate that he did pass when he did, but we were able to get a defense now about Jim Schwartz, and outside all the rumors of Jim Schwartz, and his conspiracy taking over for Doug Peterson. I mean, I got his back if he does it, but I mean, either way, it's just, man, just on both sides of the ball, it's beautiful. I know on special teams, our production hasn't been the best, but we haven't needed to have those special teams kind of players getting us back in there. We lost Josh Huff last year again. I mean, who really cares about Josh Huff when you think about it? Sorry, man. But yeah, Dave Phipp I guess he kept it contained. I mean, Donnie Jones is making a lot of great punts. So yeah, overall, I guess we're pretty good.
Yeah,
both sides.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Jay Ajayi, let's talk about Jay Ajayi some more. I mean, he's our now number one running back. We picked him up, from the Dolphins. He looked pretty good on the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are a weird team in football, in my opinion. But yeah, so Going forward, do you think that maybe we light a spark under like Smallwood or Clement or even Blunt to want to fight for the ball more, or do you think that Jay Ajayi is just going to easily come in here and be our #1 starter for the rest of the year?
I think Ajayi needs to be our #1 running back for the rest of the year, primarily because of the amount of talent that he has at the position. He's one of those breakaway running backs that we haven't really had in a while since, I guess, DeMarco Murray a couple years ago. I personally want to thank Adam Gase for giving us Jay Ajayi. I don't know what exactly he was thinking, giving away his best player in the backfield, but I guess things happen and you got to move on. And I'm more than happy to move on with one of the potentially a top 5 running back by the end of the season, hopefully.
You know what, Josh? While I agree with your point, you also got to give some credit to Howie Roseman, because that guy is working some magic in that front office, and I don't know how he's pulling off all of these deals.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know. I'm just very excited. There's no other way to describe it.
I mean, I'm really excited. I just know for a fact that like now that we got him, everyone has a target on us. Like we have the biggest target on our back, and everyone's just gonna want to just go after us now. But I think we're prepared for it either way.
Yeah, so in the words of Hagrid himself, you're a wizard, Howie. Something that I thought of. I mean, especially when we got our Carson Wentz, we picked up Ronald Darby. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him play yet, but when we do see him play, my God. But yeah, so we're going up against a pretty tough team on our schedule. The Broncos, former Super Bowl champions. And, for the first time, we actually have a scouting report, so we're all really excited about that. So yeah, let's talk about first up, Von Miller. He's going to be problems for us, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. This is arguably the best running back in football right now. He changes so many plays. He gets into the heads of so many of the players on the field, and at any time he's running on a play. He could even get in the head of the head coaches for all I know. He's just such a game-changing player, and that's one of the many defensive players that the Broncos have that you got to watch out for. Their defense will be the stalwart, the aspect of the game that we gotta really try and key in on. Because me personally, I'm not worried about the offense of the Broncos, but the past 3 years, 4 years, the Denver Broncos have been the best defensive team, and that's going to be our toughest task of the season for the offense.
Yeah, that team starts with the defense. It starts with Von Miller. I mean, he's one of my favorite players in the league, but like, of course, going against us, it's got to change. But I think him going against this line, I know the line's been shaky. This is going to be their real test. Like each week, I feel like it's going to be a test, but this is their real test going against a Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winning offensive linebacker that's going to just keep going at you every single play. So I mean, it's all up to the offensive line this week. Yeah,
not only the offensive line, but it's up to Carson Wentz too to get out of the pocket as quickly as he can.
So yeah, the one thing on the other side of the ball, big money quarterback Brock Osweiler. So just really quick, just check out his stats. So he had a pretty good year, and so just really quick, our secondary. Do you think that we can contain this man?
I think it's more about containing Demaryius Thomas, who's the #1 threat. But I have no problems with going against Brock Osweiler. 15 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. When you throw more interceptions than touchdowns, that's just chalked right there, honestly.
This is his first start like this year. I think our secondary is going to be really hungry to try to pick him off.
So yeah, really quickly, our picks of the week. We're going up against the Broncos. It's nice to see we all once again predict the Eagles up to win. I got the Eagles 27-13 with my man Jalen Mills being the MVP. I'm going to see that green hair going to get a couple interceptions. Josh, you got 24-23 Zach Ertz. Dave, 27-17 Michael Kendricks. And Selena, 24-20 Alshon Jeffrey. What beautiful picks. Do you want to talk about why you picked your picks real quick?
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz is going to have to be our MVP, considering that Denver's defense gives up, I think, like the top 5 yards against tight ends. That this is a game for Zach Ertz to break out if he hasn't already.
I think it's a game where the defense just needs to step up and just play their best game. I feel like it's going to be a defensive player that's going to really just take over this whole game.
And I picked Jeffrey because I think even though they're going against the great Broncos defense, I think he'll really step up for the Eagles, but it's going to be a close game.
It's nice to hear that from all of you. Of course, we all want the Eagles to win, so we're going to hit you with a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Philadelphia 76ers. See you then.
action. You may think a guy would be producing this, but I can too.
Anyone can find a cure.
Women are being downgraded for their physical ability, but you can be just as strong.
%20 of women are engineers, but it doesn't stop there.
I'm a tech girl. I'm a tech girl. I am a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
All right, welcome back from the break. We, we're going to talk about 76ers. So yeah, what started off as a rocky season, seemed to picked up for them. They won 3 straight. Now they're 4-4. Like, I'm surprised. I'm sure our process trusters, I guess that's what I'll call you guys, are fine with it. Of course, I'm fine with it as well, but like, it is surprising.
Yeah, and I think it's surprising the fact that we were able to get a 3-game winning streak this early in the season. I said on the show last week that this was going to be, like, this is where the process part is going to come in. We did the waiting to see the playing. Now we need to wait and see major success on the court. And I knew it was going to take a while, considering the fact that we still have one of the youngest teams in the league, like we did when we were quote unquote tanking. But now we actually have some momentum to build, and we were playing a pretty bad team in the Hawks last night. We struggled a little bit. I'm sure we'll get into it later, but we were able to get the win. Simmons looked great. Everyone looked great for the most part, and just another exciting win to another hopefully exciting season.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can continue this because, I mean, who doesn't like the feeling of winning again on the Sixers? I mean, it's just something that you want to keep feeling. So, I mean, if we keep playing like this, I mean, obviously we're going to be excited.
Yeah, I know they started the season out on a rough note, but after last night's win, now they're at 500. I think they're at 4-4. So this is a starting point for them to really get started. That was redundant, but also you have to take into account that they are in a pretty difficult division with the Celtics. Yeah. So there will be some challenges along the way, but like Josh said, this is the process right here.
The one thing I'm actually not looking forward to is the way the Sixers tickets are going to rise up. Because, I mean, you could go to a Sixers game for pretty cheap now, but if they pick up and becoming one of the better NBA teams, it's going to be a little pricier to go to the games already. Even though I was looking, like, the Celtics game was $75.
Wow.
Yeah. Compared to $17 to play some, the Hawks or whatever. But, yeah, overall, the Sixers is really heating up. It's like, it's exciting that the Eagles are on the upswing. The Sixers are now on the bottom
cusp,
part of like heating up. And now the fact that we got 2 strong teams, 2 strong performances, pretty excited. But yeah, let's talk about the man who doesn't want to be here anymore, Jahlil Okafor.
It kind of brings a little, it kind of hampers our excitement a little bit. And not even because he was going to be a big part of the process, but mainly just because it's adding more and more drama to the team. It's material that we don't need to deal with right now. I want to try and get him out of here as fast as we can. If he expressed his longing to leave Philadelphia, then I think it's up to us to try and be a little urgent to get him out of the city.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I mean, we don't want him on the team. Like, I don't want him on the team anymore. I mean, his first year was good. Like, he did what he needed to, and then after that, I mean, he just didn't show up. And I feel like him not playing anymore is really hurting his chances of leaving too, because no one's really going to see what he can actually do. But I feel like we just need to find a way to just like get him out of here and just focus on what we need to do for the future.
I mean, it's a shame because he wants a buyout or a trade, but I think that's been influenced by everybody else around him. It wasn't always that way, but I think he just feels excluded because once they drafted Fultz, they became the Feds. But where's Okafor? They kind of just excluded him, and whilst the Sixers don't really need him, it really is a shame.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you guys don't see any way of working Okafor back into the rotation then, huh?
Oh, no. I think we already have enough core players in our rotation, and the addition of Simmons and Sarge definitely adds needed size at the 3-4 position, and Okafor can only play the 5. We gotta, and I guess he's not as versatile compared to Embiid or really any other center on our team. I think Amir Johnson has been a little bit more effective in the 8 games we played this year compared to Okafor the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I can see him is be the backup of Embiid, and clearly he doesn't want to be the backup to Embiid. He wants to be the main center, and he can't be that on this team. The vet Amir Johnson knows his role. He's the veteran. He's just going to go right behind Embiid. He's going to play when Embiid's not playing. He knows his role. I don't think Okafor wants to actually take over that role. That's not something he wants to do in this city.
I think one main issue here is his trade value has just plummeted. And so if the Sixers do try to trade him, what are they going to get for him? So they might be better off with a buyout, but is that really the best solution? So there's a lot of questions here, but no one really has the answers.
Yeah, do you guys see any team that it's going to be excited to pick him up? I mean, I don't really see much value in Okafor as far as other teams go. So.
Oh no, I mean, if he wants to be, he's a young guy, so he definitely wants to have that spotlight on him while he can. But you're right. I can't think of any teams right now that would want to put him as their franchise center.
The only team I can actually see him going to is like the Suns, because their history is just like they have a bunch of guards. They try to get a big man with Dragon Bender, but like they have no big man. So I mean, if we were to go to somewhere, it could be the Suns, but I can't see him anywhere else.
So yeah, moving on to another player that unfortunately won't be playing for us right now, Markelle Fultz. We got news that he's out indefinitely, so that certainly hurts the team. The shoulder injury, only played a couple of games for us, and it's always unfortunate to see one of especially our new players, go down.
Yeah, I mean, injuries happen. Sometimes you can't avoid them, but I guess it's just the Philly curse or the luck of the draw that we get an injured player injured so early. But there's a lot of things that I think he needs to learn and go over while he's rehabbing and getting that shoulder back to full health. And I think it starts with his shot, and I think that's the reason why that shoulder injury was hampering his shot. It kept him from getting it to the best ability. So that's another pretty heavy aspect of the process that we need to try and figure out soon.
Yeah, I feel like the so-called Philly curse is kind of like a blessing in disguise, because Joel Embiid gets hurt, and then he works out all during the season and the off season. Now he's putting up really good numbers and was potentially Rookie of the Year last year. Ben Simmons comes out, he works in the off season. Now he's putting up almost triple doubles in some of the games that he played so far this year. So maybe, just maybe, if Fultz takes off this year, we can actually see him do something really crazy next year, because you never know.
Yeah, the Sixers' success this season was contingent on a lot of factors, but them being healthy was number one. Having a healthy team is their main priority, because they've just been riddled with injuries over the past few years. And Markelle Fultz, I know he was the number one pick in the draft, and everyone wants to see him play, but you have to let him heal. Like, you need him to rest and to heal, and like you guys were saying, to build up and to rehab and to grow exponentially. And then that's when I want to see him, because I don't want them to try to rush him back to try to complete the process. I'd rather them delay that another year and have a full healthy team rather than see that happen.
So yeah, even without Markelle Fultz, do you see ourselves? This is typically a Fast Five question, to be completely transparent. But yeah, so based on how we're on fire now. We won 3 in a row. How long do you see this winning streak continue?
I think. I don't know their schedule, their next upcoming games, but I think we've established ourselves so far in 8 games as a team that can hang with anybody, because we went into Houston the other night and we beat one of the top teams in the conference, beat them by 10, I think, and then that just shows our grit and our heart and our hustle. So I think we can hang in with any team especially now that the Cavs are down at the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some inconsistent nights. You can see with the numbers and just how people play. But I mean, honestly, if we play like we did these last 2 games and just keep going like this, I don't see us going down anywhere, honestly.
All right, so yeah, we talked the Eagles, we talked Sixers, and now I'm going to slowly come at you with the fastest section of the show. That's right, it's Fast Five. I always love the transition from whatever before Fast Five. So yeah, first, Josh, coming at you. New Phillies general manager hire, Gabe Kapler. How do you feel about it?
I'm a little indifferent about it. I don't know too much about Kapler. I know he had about a 13 year career in the MLB, which doesn't necessarily say too much, but to have that experience, to have a 10+ year experience in the highest level of baseball is very promising in any way.
All right, Selena, next question to you. So, yeah, the signing of Gabe Kapler, of course, comes with bad news. We didn't sign Joe Girardi. Why do you think we didn't do that?
Well, I think Joe Girardi was the most qualified manager out there on the market, but I just don't think it was a good fit for the Phillies. Obviously, there's a little bit of bad blood between the two of them because in 2009, Joe Girardi managed the Yankees, who won the World Series against the Phillies. But I also think the Phillies wanted to bring in like a fresh face, and Gabe Kapler, he's young, he's in his 40s, and I think he has a lot to offer the team. So I think he was just a better fit.
All right, and so Dave. Next question's coming to you. I know you love talking about this guy, but is Ben Simmons the Rookie of the Year?
You know what? I mean, I love the guy, right? Ben Simmons, I love you. But listen, I think it's just a little bit too early to say. But give me a week, I'll probably change my opinion.
That's completely reasonable. Josh, so Flyers versus Blues. Who wins tonight?
With how terribly or inconsistently they've been playing, I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say the Flyers win 2-1 in overtime, because they typically go out there and win the toughest games that it looks like to be a really tough game. St. Louis is one of the best teams in the conference. They're 10-2-1, and I think this is a game that the Flyers will win because they're just that kind of team that goes out and beats good teams but doesn't do well against bad teams.
All right, and Selena, last question's coming to you. Are you worried about the Philadelphia Flyers?
Short answer, yes. They're in 13 games. I think they're 6-1,
Yep.
and they're riddled with injuries like any other Philadelphia team. Andrew McDonald is on injured reserve. Nolan Patrick, their first-round pick, is on injured reserve. That's the real one to look out for. Andrew McDonald, not so as much, but yeah, just keep an eye on the Flyers. I am a bit worried.
All right, so yeah, that brings you to the close of another episode of Sports Talk Philadelphia. I want to thank Josh Abrams, Dave Roberts, Selena BMAC, and the wonderful crew that I have over here, the wonderful Sports Talk Philadelphia team. We can't do this without any of you. Thank you for watching the show. Make sure you follow us on LaSalle TV Philly on YouTube, Sports Talk LTV on Twitter. You can see the rest of our social media on the screen. Definitely give us like, follow, shares. We do a lot of work here for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you next week.